In my last video about sexless relationships, I got a comment that I could no longer find afterwards that went something in the lines of, well, this is why men don't want to marry a woman with experience, they want to get a virgin. Because they're going to think of the chads in their past, that they were good in bed, but they didn't invest in the relationship. And men don't want to end up in relationships where they invest in a woman with all the stuff that they have, but she thinks of another. So when I saw that comment, I was like, okay, where does it come from? Manosphere, obviously. I'm not going to go into that because I'm not in the manosphere, obviously. But I did have these situations, the ones that he mentioned, in coaching. Okay, so I've had women in coaching that had married virgins. Yes, this is still a thing in our country. There are women that are raised by their parents very religiously, and they do marry as virgins. They have no experience. They don't know if they're a good match with their husbands or not, but they marry because their family makes them marry, pure. And some of them end up in really painful, intimate situations. So I've had two women in coaching sessions, different women. Both had married virgins from different cities, actually, and both had ended up with really miserable, intimate lives. And I've had a third case, a woman, also had married a virgin, mother of a child, still married to her husband. She was in her late 40s when she wrote a message to share that she had married a virgin and she had been told that it was her duty to have sex with her husband, but she didn't enjoy it at any time. And after over 20 years of marriage, she felt like, she gave a really plastic comparison, but she felt miserable and she didn't enjoy it. She didn't enjoy her life. She was massively depressed. And based on the symptoms that she was describing, that was sexual trauma. Okay, it can happen in a marriage where people have no clue what the fuck they're doing, basically. And nobody got any education. Nobody knows how to ask for something that they like. They don't even have the concept of, wow, I could actually enjoy sex. So, to the men out there that are worried that maybe women with experience might think of chads in their past. Chads, for those of us that on the planet that don't freaking know about these terms, those are the hot guys that screw around women after women after women after women after hundreds of women. They never settle down. And eventually when they do settle down, they get somebody that is top tier considered by men. And they have no regret about anything that they've done in the past. And most people on the planet, most men on the planet are not chads. Based on physical traits, based on socioeconomic standing, and I would also venture to say based on the place that they were born. I'm talking country, continent, and so on. So coming back to our point, this guy left in his comment the message that that's why a lot of men seek virgin women, so that they don't have to worry about those women thinking of people in their past, chads. Well, let me tell you this. First of all, it's not guaranteed that if you marry a virgin, you're going to actually have marital bliss. Nothing guarantees that. Whether the woman is experienced or not, her lack or abundance of experience isn't your problem. Your problem is, are you compatible with this person next to you? And do you actually understand that if you don't truly please her, it all goes down the drain? And you can end up with an abused wife even though you don't intend it to and she doesn't intend it to. It ends up miserably, okay? I can't tell you, the two women that I've had in sessions, they were crying in pain. Okay, those women needed therapy, which I also sent them to. Therapy for years, because years and years of having sex with your husband without having a clue, either one of you, what to do in that situation. A woman's sexuality, because a woman's body is not as simple as a man's, a woman's sexual expression is not so easy to pinpoint. It's not so easy to ignite in the right way. And if you have no clue and she has no clue, then your best chance is, are you compatible? Because if you're not, you end up in married misery. Another problem that somebody like this guy who wrote that comment has is the fact that they know that they're not so great. And I'm not talking just looks here. So what you're worried basically that you're not good or memorable as a partner. Essentially, that's what such a comment would scream to me as. In that situation, looks are not the primary thing that determines whether you're in a married bliss or not. It's skill. Okay, your skill. Does Chad have better skill than the average guy? Well, you might be surprised. No. You know why? Because a lot of women don't have the courage to tell even a guy that is not a Chad, let alone a Chad, who's perceived as the go-to guy. They don't have the courage to tell the guy that maybe they don't enjoy what he's doing. Okay, sometimes Chads have no freaking clue that they suck in bed because nobody tells them, or very few people tell them. And when those people tell them, because there are so few, they ignore them as, no, you're just insecure or something. So they project it back. They don't really take that feedback because there's not enough evidence to support it. Okay, so they take it as, maybe in the best case, as an exception. Somebody that looks like a Chad might not be so great in bed. Please understand this. And you might also, as men here, might be surprised, Chads have their insecurities too. There's not a single guy that isn't insecure about his genitalia, 1. 2, about his skill. 3, when something goes wrong or when a woman pinpoints that maybe something wasn't so great, yeah, their insecurity goes through the roof. And it's worse for them to handle because they're used to being so acclaimed and having it all so easily working out for them that negative feedback can actually wreak a lot more damage into Chad and his psyche than into the average guy or just, a good man. Let me put it like that, not average, a good man. And by good man, I also mean good man in bed. What is a good man in bed? First, you actually have the curiosity to understand your partner's body, sexuality, her needs. That's what a good lover is in bed. Curiosity about the other. Secondly, you are willing to listen to what this other person is telling you, and you don't really think that because something worked for you in the past, it's going to work now also. Okay, so you don't apply stuff from your past to a present person. Every individual is different. And I've also said this in another video about erotic intelligence. We are different, including in intimacy, physically and emotionally, with different people. Because the people that we interact with are different things come out of us. We are not the same with two people in intimacy. Never. Okay? You need to understand that. So that's why listening and asking the person in front of you what they need or what they wish in that moment and making sure that it really is good for them, those are two things that really are communication skills, not sex skills. But most men had them, would turn their intimate life around for the good and for the memorable. Okay? Chad is not necessarily more skilled than a good man. Chad might lack a lot of communication skills. And that one is true for a lot of men, whether Chads or good men. Okay? Asking somebody what they want, your beloved, the person that you're intimate with, or your wife, what they want, and making sure that you're asking not in an insecure way, in a genuine, heartfelt and present way, and confident to listen to that feedback. And also being realistic. Like, that's something that everybody could use, men and women alike. Whether they're Chads, Stacys, Karens, whatever other names you guys give to people, to prototypes of people that have nothing to do with real people, by the way. Everybody could use communication skills and self-esteem, sexual esteem basically, also, to discern, okay, this stuff I can do, this stuff I can't, because my body isn't fit for that or I just don't like it. But I'm not going to blame the other person, my beloved, if there's one thing that I don't like to do or my body can't do. I'm not going to call them weird or something. No, it's just something that I can't do. It's important. And it's so easy to overlook these. That's why your problems aren't with Chads, Stacy's, Karen's, blah, blah, blah. Your problems are when it comes to self-esteem and skill. And in skill, I will include first and foremost communication skills, but genuine communication skills. That's the kind of stuff that you can work on, yeah, in coaching also, in therapy also, in sexual education or just personal growth processes, wherever you can tackle the communication part of things and where you can train your muscle to really listen, like to ask open questions because you're talking about your intimacy, and really be willing to listen to what your partner has to say. It's not easy, okay? Because sometimes those open questions might come with really negative feedback or just unpleasant feedback, stuff that you don't want to hear. And everybody, yours truly, is subjected to that. Nobody's like, everybody's human here. Nobody, not even Chad, not even, I don't know, give me some Lenny Kravitz, not even, what are the hot guys nowadays? I don't know. Some Asian K-pop stars or whoever you guys are thinking of right now as the hot male. Why can't I think of anybody else but Lenny Kravitz? Keanu Reeves. Okay, so whoever, anybody can get negative feedback, okay? There's no such thing as a universally valid sex god for everybody out there, or sex goddess for that matter, okay? So just, we all need to get a really grounded grip on these things. And like I'm yapping here for 8 years already, get to a professional coaching setting. You got to work on your self-esteem in sexuality. You got to understand what your weak spots are. And you're not going to do that with just videos or commenting with frustration everywhere else or just seeing problems whenever somebody's putting a video or a program out there or stuff like that. No. If you want to get out of that mindset and really be proactive about your life, yeah, go for coaching. Go for a relationship, that one is a personal growth relationship, where you can actually learn. Okay, where are your weak spots? What are your resources? How do you go about your weak spots? Some you can fix, some you can't. That's valid for everybody. And a grounded and realistic look will get you in a better shape to face your marriage and show up in your marriage, whether your beloved is experienced or not, because her or his experience isn't your problem. Your problem is compatibility, self-esteem, communication, skill, your skill. Okay? Not their experience, your skill. If somebody, let's just say that you're doing all of these things right, and somebody is still a jerk, and they're just coming with crap at you, then that's not your problem either anymore. And that also is something that you can learn to pick up when you're doing coaching. Some people have their own issues, and no matter how much you try, those people just have their issues and insecurities, and they will project and reproach onto others because that's all they know how to do. And in those situations, you can do whatever you want. You're not going to turn around a marriage when somebody's in that place. Okay, that's also, like I said, some things are fixable, some are not. It's valid for you, it's valid for your relationship also. This is the kind of stuff that you will learn when you get to coaching. Not in videos. They can't be personalized. Not in programs. Not in books. In actual one-on-one discussions where you open up about your life, your experiences, your views, your mindset, your education, the meaning that you give to various things, your resilience when you get negative feedback and so on. That's not the kind of stuff that you can get with pre-recorded stuff. Never. The only thing that you can get when you watch a video like this is awareness. Okay, this is where I might want to go into. And understanding not to throw away a person that might actually be a good match to you just because they're experienced, or remain in a relationship with somebody just because they don't have experience and that's what you wanted, but even though that marriage is just miserable. I hope this message lands, okay? I don't know how many other comments I'm going to get under this video. I have no clue how many people actually listen all the way to the end and actually process the deeper stuff there. But if you're one of those people, drop me a heart, okay, a comment with a heart emoji, because I'm really curious how many people actually listen all the way to the end. And how many people realize that eventually you're going to have to get to a one-on-one discussion with somebody, not necessarily me, for whatever reason, if you don't like me, somebody else, but get to a one-on-one discussion where you actually find out where you are and how equipped you are for that marriage. And stop worrying about other people from your partner's past or their experience and so on. Okay, that's not your problem. So I'll be looking forward to those heart emojis, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.